It's on that amplifier right there.
My daddy taught me how to sing. My mama taught me how to pray. If I don't pray and sing all night long, nobody's fault mine. It ain't nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. If I pray and sing all night long, nobody's fault but mine. If I don't read my soul, then I'll say nobody. nobody's fault but mine. Oh, nobody's fault but mine. Ain't nobody's fault but mine. If I don't pray, sing all night long, nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. Nobody's fault but mine. If I don't give myself nobody's fault but mine.
What's up, y'all? How you doing? First things first, how am I sounding? Can't do anything if I can't talk. Sounding good? I'm looking at you, chat. Hey, chat, how you doing? How's it going, Rabbit? Suzanne, Grim, Daisy, Charlemagne, thanks for saying hello. Good to go, man. All right, that's what I like to hear. Well, welcome. We are here this evening. Let's get started with the intro. I'm setting it up right now to go over the West versus Rekieta law, defamation lawsuit going on in real life, that is. And we're going to take a deep dive into that tonight and really look at what's going on here. Let me stop presenting that and start presenting this. Got it. Wait, this one or this one? Let's go.
I give a damn about my reputation. Living in the past, it's a new generation. Don't do what you want to do, but that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't give a damn about my bad reputation. Oh no, 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 not me. And I don't give a damn about my reputation. Never said I wanted to move my station. I wanna do good while I'm having fun, and I don't need no one. And I don't give a damn about my bad reputation. Oh no, 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 not me. Wow. Not me. I don't give a damn about my reputation. I've never been afraid of any deviation. And I don't really care if I'm strange. I ain't gonna change. And I'm never gonna care about my bad reputation. Wow, no, 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 not me. Wow, no, 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 not me. No, boy.
All right, here we are. Hey, let me get back in here. All right. Hope you all enjoyed that intro. So we're off on our way tonight. So we're gonna open up here with the backstory on all this. Briefly hit it, and I think most of us know it, but for those who don't, the man known as Steve Quest, or is Steve Quest, known as Monograph, here on the YouTubes, is hey Catnip, how you doing? So, oh really? So it happened a while back, right? Monty made his big, well, Monograph made his big reappearance, taking up for Keffels in that frivolous, lame attempt to get Nick disbarred. And it came on the scene, and that's where most of us kind of ran into him and figured out, all the history behind him, right? But from that, he kept kind of showing up here and there and kind of Nick has this thing with them. He jokes around, and just kind of in that whole joke with a troll way. But one night on Locals, he made some comments that Monograph took a big offense to. He said that he liked to do something to the little boys, something, right? I'm gonna be clean about it tonight. But so that's how it got started. So he's suing him for defamation. I told you it's gonna be real quick, right? We got to know that, right? But here's what's going on with that, right? What I first saw this, I was like, oh wow, like most of us were like, whoa, Nick versus Monty in court, this is gonna be great. This is a long time kind of a little rivalry going on, and we'll probably end up finding out a lot of stuff, and it'll be very interesting, right? Very eye-opening, very internet-breaking kind of information. But what most of us don't know is the law, and I think that's why we all hang around on LawTube, is because we need someone to explain to us what's going on with that. But behind the scenes, there were a lot of folks trying to pitch in and help where they could with what they could, which is a great immersive experience for everybody. And it's good to see that going on where, we're trying to just chip in where we can help. And in that, I've had many conversations with Nick here and there. At first, it was just kind of like collecting clips and stuff because I was already kind of going down that rabbit hole. I was like, well, if I come across stuff that's relative, I'll save it. And so I did that. But what I didn't understand, what a lot of people didn't understand, was what this was really all about, and how this works legally. All right. And so when we start seeing the live streams with Nick going over everything over again, for someone like me who's very researched on this topic, there were some points in it where I'm like kind of wondering why he was choosing some of the material he was choosing. Right. And I didn't quite understand it. So that became a little bit of a point of frustration just for me personally, in an nagging kind of way, right? Like, I always kind of knew in the back of my mind, I'm like, I have to trust the lawyer here. I don't really know what's going on, right? But there's what I'd like to have go on, what would be good, and what is possible within this framework, right? And that's why these lawyers, went and spent all this money to get this degree and read all these books and learn all these things, because they got the knowledge that we don't. So we lean on them for that. And I think we all know how important a lawyer can be when you're in a tight spot. Like they're the heroes of the day. Hey T-Rex, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, man? It seems like you're heading back out west. We're gonna be catching up with T-Rex here this week coming up, hopefully. And T-Rex, by the way, I have been working on the intro. I might send it around to somebody later on just so she can get a laugh out of it, and just kind of test it out a little bit. But I think it's pretty good. I don't know. Anyways, back to the topic. So as this went along, right, we're having these streams. He's catching us up on the court date. I'm noticing that in the chat, a lot of people are kind of like in between, just ragging on Monty as they normally do, the normal rag on Monty topics, and really kind of like pushing, like, the questions. Like there's a lot of disbelief, a lot of kind of frustration going on in terms of, well, why aren't you doing this, or why can't you do that, and so on and so forth. And Nick tries to explain it, but there's something underneath all of this that is at play. All right. And the big word of the night is reputation, right? Reputation. In case you haven't guessed it, it's reputation. It's all about reputation. And this is something that I think all of us could stand to understand better, because I sure didn't. Maybe a lot of y'all got this before I did, but I was once I got it, once the light bulb went off, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. All right, now I get it. Plus, I've learned a lot about the world at the same time, crazy enough. But so what we're seeing on both sides right now is a case about reputation. And on one side, you got Nick, who's going through how he came to know about this reputation. And on the other side, you have Monty talking about the damage to his reputation and how it's kind of like kind of playing the victim now, like he's the one, he's being harassed by this or so on, right? Well, which was like, I guess he can make a case for that in his own right. I'm not going to question that part of it, but I'm saying, like, if you notice, his content's kind of been right on the main line. He's not doing too much identifying and locating, and Warren these days, troll Warren these days, he's kind of keeping it mellow, and that's a good thing, I think, for him. And I hope that he takes this opportunity to continue to do that. Although, I don't necessarily agree with his takes on a lot of things, but I like the fact that at least he's doing it this way, and leaving the old parts in the past that aren't doing him really any good. But we'll see, right? So that's what we're seeing on both sides, right? And as we're seeing this, you see that Nick's rolling down a lot of information from the past and kind of pulling it up, and he's kind of walking us through the history from his point of view. And this is where it gets really interesting, because in essence, he has to his case is about making the court understand this more than anything else. It's not about proving the reputation. It's about articulating and showing where he came to have gained the impression of the reputation, right? And this is the way it works in this first part of the defamation, where they're trying to really just get it dismissed and get it kind of thrown out, and not have to go into discovery, which is a very expensive process, right? So what's going on here is, while some of us are going, well, you need to look into that part, that's because we have a deeper understanding of the topic. That doesn't matter to the court, right? It doesn't matter what the real truth of the matter is in this case, because this is about how someone could come to a reasonable idea of one public figure's reputation, right? And whether Monty likes it or not, he is a public figure. And 15 years on the internet, one of the first people on YouTube way back when, I guess. So he says, but at least he's there before Google bought it. We know that, and he's been around. He's made movies, and he's done other things that would put him in the public eye, as well as had other court actions that were public as well. So I think with like 10, 20, 30,000 videos about you out there and all that, I think it's safe to say you're a public figure now, whether you like it or not. It's just the way it goes, bud. But and when you can gain a reasonable expectation, a reasonable understanding of someone's reputation based on the information available, it's not really on you to qualify the reputation in order to have the reputation. So it could be anything. We talked about this. This is where I really came to understand what was going on, because really what he has to do is just prove that how the existing publicly publicity addressing said reputation has given him the impression, given the vast amounts of sources spanning a decade plus of time, and additionally, having found and witnessed nothing that would have countered that reputation in order to, an opinion based on similar research, right? So in similar research, he found not, anything that would counter these other claims out there. So the point in the case isn't really about the truthfulness of the reputation. It's about how he came to believe it via the existing influential information and sources he's consumed. And that's what he's precisely hammering in his streams. So what you're seeing is him going over basically how he was influenced to come to the conclusion he's come to, and how he has not been persuaded otherwise, given his way of finding the information. And really, at that point, it's free speech, and for a public figure. And I did throw it back and ask, okay, so at first it was confusing to me, because it seems like okay, so whatever your reputation is, people could, 20 people that hate you could make your reputation, or 50, I said 50 trolls could post you're a drunken wife beater for the next 10 years. And 10 years from now, a guy gets on stage in front of a large crowd and says, that's what you are. And you have no recourse. Right. And he said, unfortunately, that's the way it works. And that there's no standard for media other than when it imposes on itself, and that defamation works on a public figure has to endure some level of speculation and incorrect assertions, right? Unless and the whole thing is unless the speaker knows them to be false. Okay, key words here: knows them to be false. So what do you think is going on the other side of the table, right? So on the other side of the table, they have to prove that he did know what he was saying was false, right? So does that start to like turn the light bulbs on for everybody? This is the aha moment I was started to have right here when I started to realize, oh, that's what I'm seeing here. Okay, both sides are doing their part in this to play their side of the case, right? So one side saying this is how I came to the information, all truthful, all real, walking through. I can verify much of this just from the research I've been doing, that this was where, this is the same stuff Nick's been saying for years. So yeah, this is, he's just updating everybody on it really. And that at the same time, the other side has to prove that, somehow along the way, he found out that that's not true. And now he's using it maliciously, right? Instead of as a preconceived idea he has about the individual based on, again, his impression and what's influenced that impression. So if, in the case of Monograph, it's not just a few people over the years that have made this allegation against him, right? It's been tons and tons and tons. So the volume of information out there helps cement in this internet reputation, if you will, or this public reputation, which is unfortunate, especially if it's not true. And I don't know, I haven't run across anything that would, outside of some wild kind of taste choices, that would indicate that. But that's the story for another day. The what I want to say though is that everybody can have their own impression of someone's reputation. It doesn't matter what someone like me knows or someone like you knows. It's all individual, right? It's all individual. So even Nick will have to live with some kind of reputation on based on speculation and assertion. Being a public figure himself, you can already hear some of that, that he's a drunk. You see the people who are out there saying that they're allowed to have that impression of him and say it. It's their freedom of speech. And he would be foolish to try to go after and sue every one of those people. And he would never do anything like that. Let them think what they want to, obviously he's very functional and doing very well in his life. So the best revenge is always living well, isn't it? Hey, and by the way, let me get the if anybody's asking any questions or anything, let me know, chat. I got okay. All right, mods. If I miss any super chats or anything, because I had the other screen up. Okay, so I think you can see him in StreamYard pretty much though. So now we kind of got it. Does everybody have an understanding of that? Would anybody like to ask a question about this where we're at right now before I kind of start pushing forward on this? Did everything I say make sense? Anything I can clarify for anyone? Now's the time to let me know. If I did a great job, you can give me a thumbs up too, man. I appreciate it. Hey, hit that like button, share, please. Hey, Rumble, how you doing? Just saying hello over there. Thank you so much for being here. It's wild because I don't have I should get all my other screens up. I just kind of busted into this, but I usually have like the pop out chats going by now, and I think that's because I've been doing the shows with other people recently, and it's given me more time. I'm like, oh yeah, what am I forgetting here? Do this. All right, but I need to change the thumbnail on that too, don't I? Sorry, Rumble, but thanks for being here. All right. And okay, so any questions? Any questions? All right, thumbs up. Good. I'm doing a good job. All right. All right. In my crazy wordy way, I'm doing a good job. Um, all right. So that's what we're seeing on both sides. So the paths to victory, as I kind of alluded to, are for one side to prove, this is a reasonable expectation of this person's reputation based on the public knowledge, and the other side to prove, well, they knew that it wasn't real when they said it, right? So that's what you're going to see from both sides from here until this case is done, right? There's going to be no other public showing of anything other than that. So don't ask for it, don't expect it. It won't happen. This has to go down this way. And that, my friends, is the thing that most people don't see that's going on in the streams. That's the big deal, right? That's the thing that comes. The light bulb moment goes off when you realize that the case is still being tried in front of us in a way. It's the two individuals involved, presenting their side of what's going on and making public knowledge of that, so that they have something to stand on with that in court. And then of course, so their chat and then their crowd understands what's going on from their point of view. But there's something more, right? I feel like I'm blowing through this. I'm already down to my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 point. So I feel like I'm blowing through this. I only had like 8. Well, the end part there, we're gonna get to talk a lot about, because this next section here is what we can take away from this. Like the really cool thing going on that I didn't realize until I had the previous information in my mind. Because Nick's telling us, he's telling us what he's gonna do. He's been telling us what he's gonna do. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Talking Trash and Truth. How you doing? I hope you're feeling better. Thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You are awesome. And I will be sending a little thing to your inbox if I can get it to fit. If not, I'll slim it down. But look for your Discord DMs here after I get off. Thank you so much again. I appreciate that. Yeah, but like I said, I feel like I'm blowing through this really quickly. So any questions or anything like that would be awesome. So what's going on? What's going to happen next? What's that? Well, April 10th, this Monday, they're having a hearing. So I think this is the one where hopefully Nick can get it thrown out. So here's the passive victory. And I said this, but let me talk about what the hopeful outcome is. Let me put it that way. This will be a new point. The hopeful outcome for Nick, and this is the motto, right? Is the less he spends, the more he wins, right? I kind of came up with that and threw it out there, but that's what it came to in my mind. So the goal is the less he spends, the more he wins, because if this goes on, it gets more expensive. And what Monty's goal is, I believe, and I'm not going to speak for him or put myself in any kind of problem. And by the way, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I'm not a doctor. It's not medical advice. I'm not an airline pilot. This is not aviation advice. This is just my opinion from research and from conversation and in my own personal experience. So this is all I'm doing. This is only my opinion, and it's highly transformative content, by the way. Did I cover all the bases? All right. So I believe the outcome, the best outcome for Monty would be that they say, oh yeah, he's totally guilty, and here's everything you want, right? But I think what he'll take is putting a hole in the Rekieta bank account and just letting him know every time he looks at it that old Monty put it there. So and I based my opinion on that, on the live streams and other comments and statements I've observed from Montegraph myself during his streams. I want you to spend the money. So I've heard that numerous times, and that's what's led to this impression that I have that's his real, like, okay, well, if I can't get it the whole way, maybe I can just beat you up real good on the way out the door. So when you look in the mirror and see that broken nose and that black eye, you remember me, right? You don't want to do that again. But at the same time, what'll probably happen as a result is if this goes Rekieta's way, this will be the second time there's been a lawsuit that has been thrown out due to this. And so this record of lawsuits, this defamation lawsuits getting thrown out and dismissed and or whatever, right, are not going through, not winning these, right? This is slowly eroding his ability away to actually use this function. And this is the 2 points we're kind of going to go into now. Is that this is now a new reputation, is a legal reputation. All right. So your legal reputation now comes into play where they look at, okay, well, the next time this gets brought up, the lawyer on the other side is going to be like, okay, well, Your Honor, we just want to put on the record this is like, this is a somewhat of a pattern we're starting to notice with Mr. Quest that he has these defamation lawsuits and they don't seem to go anywhere. I'll leave it at that because I'm not a lawyer, but I do know that after a certain number, and it may vary state to state. I don't have no idea. After a certain number of failed attempts at defamation lawsuits, there's a flag put on you, if you will, so that when you actually do try to do this again, it won't make it to court if it's not like rock solid. It has to be like the most rock solid case in the world, or it's not going to even get to the judge probably. I don't know how it all works. I'm speculating a little bit there, but I do know that I've heard that's the case, and it's been brought up by several other lawyers. So, and I'm not a lawyer, but several lawyers have brought it up, and I've observed that. So in that, that's what the outcome could be. Now, if you listen to Nick, and here we go with the next part of this. If you listen to Nick, he's been making a lot of references towards Monty's lawyer, right? And this started off amicable, and I think this is important because you can see how ideas for change and for solutions can evolve out of situations very quickly, right? And I always make a point of telling all you winners, all you solution architects out there that are part of the solution culture we're building, right? That you do what you can with what you can when you can, right? So a better way, I think I put this, was when I replied to Rekieta, I said, you are doing what you can when you can with what you can. Well, let me actually find the quote. I said, the basis of it is that you do what you can in the situation to help with the solution, right? So he had the opportunity in front of him, and this is it. It's the lawyer, and you see the enablement. He's going after the enablement. So if you listen to him, he said, "Hey, after this is all over, buddy," that to his lawyer, it's me. I'm coming for you. I'm going to come for you. And so he's actually trying to solve the problem in the way that he can do it as a lawyer, with the law legally, with the mechanisms that are there. See, he's not really worried about so much about Monty and what Monty's doing, because I believe, he understands that people like him exist and persist, right? But they can't do anything like this without a lawyer that'll take the case and help push it through, right? A lot of them will just fail before they even start, like the Jake Mafronius case did, right? It just didn't go anywhere much at all, right? But the lawyers have a way to push this through, make it more expensive, tie up the courts, and so on. Now, here's a lawyer that took Monty's case, as I understand it from listening to the different streams I have, took this case. They're not really defamation lawyers, right? And so for some reason, they took this case. Probably, I don't know the details of it. I won't go into them. But for some reason, they took this case. And it might be somewhat of a vendetta against Nick. I have no idea. But they took this case, and they've done a really, from what I understand, a poor job on their end legally. And this has been enabled, this kind of like dirty lawyering, if you will, like just to kind of use a general term, has been what's caused this to go on, cost other people money. These frivolous lawsuits tie up the courts. They give people leverage that shouldn't have leverage, right? They give them this undue power that they shouldn't be able to wield. The threats of I'll sue you, I'll make you spend the money, I'll do this, out in the open, just saying it. This is the problem, right? So he actually is addressing this issue, and he will be. So this is what we're going to see in the future, and I've totally expect him to follow through with this. He's dead serious about it. If he doesn't, I would be surprised. Was to say that. So Nick's real target is Monty's lawyer, not Monty. And that's another big thing that people have, I think, maybe are missing. That you can have Monty's all day long coming at you, trying to get you to say something about him, and then saying that that's defamation or that's slander or whatever. But they have a hard time getting things done when there's not a lawyer there to help them navigate the legal waters of it and get all these things in on time and do it right and build these cases, right? The lawyer is the real threat here. I mean, the lawyer is what prompted Rekieta to go get his own badass lawyer to counteract this Joker right here, right? And if it had just been Monty doing it, Nick would have gone in there and just made a show out of it. But because he did get a lawyer, Nick took it seriously. So the lawyers do have an impact when you can use a lawyer to navigate, to take your case and into court. You're a lot stronger than when you try to do it yourself. Evident, obviously, right? Obviously, it's the reason why these degrees are so expensive. So what is that, right? Again, the tie-in here is that solution culture, doing what you can do when you see an opportunity to do it with what you are able to do, right? It's just that easy. He couldn't go and do the things that the discovery type things that could have led to the mysteries of Mr. Quest's background and all the questions that are out there on the internet. And he couldn't do anything. There's no criminal thing that can be done here. There's no type of restraining orders or court orders or anything that can go and merge themselves into the civil case that would somehow prevent Montegraph from pursuing his craft over the last 15 years with identifying, locating, and trolling and doing all that fun stuff, right? But there's nothing there there's nothing there in this case, and there's no ability for him to do anything in this case that would lead to that. There's nothing that it's kind of like when they had the Elaine Griswold, whatever, Epstein trial, right? And everybody wanted them to do all this revealing, right? Well, that wasn't what the case was about. They couldn't do it there. There's these legal barriers, right? And a lot of us we go into television mode or Hollywood mode. I know I have the same imagination as anybody else who's not a lawyer in terms of the court, and they Okay. And I was hoping for big things too. I was hoping this is, and you see, I kind of show my silliness in the parody universe in terms of the court, how it goes off in my mind, how funny it is. But the truth is we don't know anything about it. And because we're not lawyers, it's a very distinct craft. So, we get Hollywood on it, and that's what people tend to do with a lot of things. They get really Hollywood on it. We got a $10 super chat from Talking Trash and Truths. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you so much. Keep spreading truths. We're here for it and for you. Thank you so much, Shelly. I appreciate it. Love you, darling. Oh man. We got talking about that is just the solution part of this is that this probably happens a lot, and that Nick's taken on this he'll take on this other part of it when it's over, because he saw the opportunity to make a difference in what he does in his own environment, and this is something we can all be doing, in little ways. See, that's the whole thing. When people say get involved, I always have felt like when I heard that, it's kind of overwhelming, right? It's like, you imagine yourself at a protest, you imagine yourself at some polling place, or you imagine at least that's how it is for me, right? And it's hard to put your finger on where you're supposed to get involved, So we start making noise on the internet. We start, talking about things. you know, maybe that's one way for some people to do it, right? I think that's, my way, one of my ways of doing it, right? But additionally, if that's not for you and that's not how you are, there's other ways you can get involved. I know people that do that already, and that this culture is building where people are seeing the necessity to actually spend their time and their effort getting involved and getting behind solutions that are happening right now when they pop up. And I encourage everybody to take that mindset, and if we can spread that around like the 100 monkeys that we are, then we can hopefully start to push out that idea. And before we know it, 5, 10, like with Liberty, and when Liberty was gone and came back, people brought it back from a very, very small volume of people that really were talking about it to, half the nation. The same can happen for any idea that's out there and any solution that's out there. So keep it up. I know that if you're here, you're probably interested in that, and you're probably doing it in some way already. So that's awesome, and I applaud you for doing that. And keep it up. Keep it up for sure. For sure. The so about the I tell you, I was thinking about how I was going to kind of like where I was going to go once I got to the big reveal here, but I want to do a little bit about now that that's said, okay, I can do a little bit about the backstory on Monty and these allegations that I know about, right? That for what impression I've been given from my research on this matter, and in my thoughts on this. And I think this will be a good talk here, because now that I just want to say that this is separate. Now, this is not information in any way that affects this case, because like I said, it's about the reputation that already existed when the statements were made and how he came to that understanding of the reputation. We're really clear on that by now, I'm sure. Anyways, but oh, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you so much. I'm supposed to read those, aren't I? Well, since it was a personal message, I just wanted to say thank you to you. All right. So what I've discovered, right, is there's a couple different veins that lead to this reputation that Monty's gathered, that has gotten over the years. Let's put it that way. And the very first way it kind of revealed itself and kind of poked its head out, from what I've seen, was this guy named Timothy Charles, right? And I'm not going to pull up any of his stuff or say much more. I'm calling him TC. I don't even like using his name. I feel like this whole thing was just to lead into bigger conspiracy theories and other rabbit holes of deception and whatnot that kind of spiraled out of it. But it got kind of wild. This guy came across and said he was working for some kind of federal pedophile task force that never existed, and that he was some special guy, right? He was some kind of special reporter, journalist guy. And this dude, talk about, I don't generally, I'm not from the gender. I guess I just don't throw around the word autism a lot or whatever, but it's like, I guess people would say that in a social way, as a social term, that, this guy's meticulousness of his work was crazy detailed. It was like this big long book of stuff, and he created this whole story about how he was this guy named JB Smeary, and he was part of this 222 cult, and that meant two is not too young. I think that's what it meant. And they had this, and then there's this manifesto attached to it. And so people were saying that was Monty way back when. Weird timeline for where he would have been during those days and what he was doing. But anyways, it was definitely some kind of like get even tactic. I don't know what their history was. I didn't really go in that much further into that side of it, just because I was like, well, this is kind of wild that this dude comes out and proclaims himself to be working with the feds and all this stuff when he clearly wasn't. But then somebody else came behind him. I think his name was Forrest or something like that. I could have that name wrong. So if that wasn't Forrest, it might be another guy, Doug there's a couple different players in this troll era that was going on that were part of this spreading this information out there about that. Now, there's no way to prove whether it's true or not, but except for it just doesn't make a lot of sense. But and there was a lot of kind of manipulation of evidence and stuff that happened too with it. If you look into it, all this stuff's still out there, and the dude still posts on BitChute like every day. He's still posting all the time. So this guy didn't go anywhere. He just he got debunked and he went underground. That's pretty much what happened. But he's still out there trying to, I guess, get attention for some reason. I don't know. But the manifesto itself was very disturbing. Now, people were saying that Monty wrote this manifesto. Now, yeah, please do, Suzanne. Please do. Send me everything. You got anything you got? I'll take it. I'll take a look at it. But the thing about the whole John Benet Ramsey era kind of this rumor was, if you read the manifesto, people were saying Monty wrote it. If you read it, you can tell that's not the way the dude. I mean, if you listen to the monograph or read anything he's ever written, not if you can find much of it, you'll see that that's not his style of writing. He doesn't speak that way, and he sure doesn't. He's sure missing a lot of his personality in that book. It was written. It was found out that it was written by somebody else, and I'm sure if some of the other old schoolers are here, they may remember the guy's name. I'm pretty sure it was maybe Doug. I don't think it was. I think Forrest was on the other side, but it's kind of cloudy. I kind of decided to go into this part at the last second. The last minute before I started, just to go, I can do some more talking about this, because there are two different veins that come to bring this up, right? And the other is the Umbrella Man, and I'm gonna talk about the Umbrella Man, and I'm gonna talk about my impressions of the film, and I'm gonna talk about that as well. So that's coming next. But I want to make sure I cover this 222 called JB Smeary part of it, because it has a lot of impact. And so for what this guy Timothy Charles did, as much work as he put into it, he got some old school results out of it. So that reputation did make its way around and stick pretty well. I mean, there's a couple other key mistakes that have inflamed that, right? Well, one of them was the Van Houten mistake, which I probably will release that video. I don't know how interested the larger crowd would be, but I might make it a members exclusive. So, by the way, if membership on this channel, it means a lot. I appreciate each and every one of my members, and I want them to be part of this, what's going on, and feel appreciated back. So I make sure that I post lots of additional extra exclusive content. You're going to hear about upcoming guests and events and anything else I've got going on ahead of time. I do a short member stream every Monday, and just time to talk to me, and we just talk really frankly, ask me anything kind of thing, and I'll give updates about the week coming up and what's down the road and what's on my mind and what's going on with me personally, if you want, as much as I can do, right? It's just more of a come over to my house and hang out thing. But I treat my members very well. They're top priority for me. And if you join, I promise you, hey, KoolFrogg, what's up? I promise you the best experience I could possibly deliver for you. So this whole story about Van Houten will probably be released on a video. I already have it made. I just had to change my ending to the story about 4 times as I found more information out. So that to me was a key point in Monograph's career, in a sense that, when he sided with Van Houten, he did it in a very kind of hard-headed way, if you will, kind of like a little bit like, he was sure that it wasn't, it was faked and somehow or manipulated somehow. I'm not sure why he wanted to defend him so much, because, Van Houten pretty much took the help and then, said, see ya. Well, all the heat Monty's getting, all the things that's happened to him, Van Houten's still out there. He's still streaming. All these people who do these things still stream. Now, the Van Houten story is that he was, some people had some suspicions about him. They ran a little YouTuber sting on him, basically creating a sock puppet of a young lady who was in his chat, and got to know him, and then revealed that she was, younger 17, and then kind of walked the age back. But they started talking personally. He started talking to her personally, and then encouraging her to emancipate herself from her parents and come live with him in his trailer in Kentucky. It's just like, okay, so he's kind of busted there, right? But there was a big controversy over that at the time, and they didn't want to, and Monty didn't want to come clean with, didn't want to, say that it was, well, he wanted to defend him. I don't know why, but he was sure that it was somehow manipulated and that these guys set him up. I think that's what it is. You'll see it in the video. It's all there. So that was another big moment where people are like, well, why are you defending this dude who's trying to get this young lady to come live in his trailer with him? It's obviously, pretty seedy. By this time too, the girl was like 14. So, yeah. So that was a big moment there. That came along with it. And of course the Keffels moment didn't help at all. Coming in and defending someone who's giving out those kind of things to kids and without their parents knowing and causing major damage, to take a side with that crew. That is, I don't, I'm not whatever your lifestyle is, that's fine with me. But, that what they were doing was different than the lifestyle. It was like, making people into the lifestyle, and minors at that. So yeah, not cool. So we got that. Those are like the other ones that kind of push this narrative along, right? You have the monography. Now the monography is the photography that he did. And this is the one where they say he was taking photographs of underage kids. Now, I want to point something out. We've gone from John Benet Ramsey, right, who was a little girl. All right. Okay. Now at this point, everything past this point are all like teenage girls, right? So anything in question at this point. So that's the only thing there that anywhere in his reputation or history that is pointing to that. And from what I have done, and I have done thorough research, not general research. So I'm telling you that straight out for the hours I've put in. That's the only place you're going to find anybody that's under not a teenager involved, right? Not that there's anybody else to name here. I'm just saying that as the stories go, as they've been told, that's the only time you're going to find the really young ones, right? That's just one girl, and that was obviously not him. It was obviously whoever in the house who did it. They found more and more evidence about that. That's a different story. But I just want to point out that the Van Helton story, that the Keffels crowd, if you can even count that, it's kind of a loose association of people who do other things. I wouldn't even count that in the same vein, but it doesn't look good, right? It kind of like connects you with child abuse in a way, right? So you don't want to be connected with that in any way, shape, or form. But of course, he did not do anything with that. He has nothing to do with those people, other than the parody of them being in the Legion of Injustice because they want the same results for people. They, there's no connection between those two. I don't know that they've even ever talked. So I'm not trying to say he's part of it, but he sure did come out and advocate for him, and I saw it with my own eyes. Okay, so back to the monography, right? So this is the one where he said, well, you can have your parents have to sign a permission slip for you to come be photographed. And that's the way it works, right? So people take that as he was bringing in underage girls for full on nude shoots. Okay. Is that legal? Can you do that? And if so, where are those photos? There's no photos of those sorts. Now I'll tell you something. Amber Heard, Eliza Blue, and another girl I know. All right. Very well. We're all 17 and younger when they were doing modeling and acting. All right. So modeling at least, right? And all three of them went to California at 17 to try to be actresses on the model background. So underage girls or, girls that are in their teens and younger, like are getting photographed all the time by photographers. They're always, this is not something that's new or weird or, under the sun. It's just that happens. So juxtaposition that statement, right? And you'll see that, you don't know whether he's talking about, something nefarious or he's just talking about business in general. But I again, his reputation is based on what you know about something, right? I've yet to see anything that would indicate that there was anything like that going on. Maybe used as and more provocative pictures, but I haven't seen that personally. However, that's everywhere. So this isn't a defense of Monty. It's a defense of just reality in the sense that there are, teenage girls getting photographed by photographers every day, and that's nothing new. And they're in bathing suits, and they're in nightgowns, and they're in other types of situations. And hell, these days, who knows what else? Probably leaning in, kissing another girl, whatever, man. I mean, it's like, how far do you want to go now? But as far as can you legally take, and would anybody buy or use these things that were not like, some kind of like underground something or another, which we have no evidence of. You couldn't legally or operationally do that in a business. So you would do that in your basement or something, but you wouldn't do it at your business if that's what you did. So thinking about it that way, right? That statement doesn't jump out at me as anything shocking. Like, especially, I know some people, see, but I'm saying that it doesn't jump out at me. It just doesn't jump out at me because like I said, I was, I dated a girl who, for a very long time, who was a model in her teens. So it just doesn't jump out at me as something weird. However, the implications and the people that juxtapose that statement, they're trying to obviously get to Montegraph. So I take that with a grain of salt, that part of it, the Montegraphy photography part, grain of salt until I see something different. My mind is always open to be changed, by the way. But that's just what I know right now. So moving on, we to the big one, the Umbrella Man. Now, this one comes up a lot. Okay, and this is another one of those veins that lead to this reputation that is the general reputation that's out there on the internet, according to over 10,000 videos and other great little tidbits that are out there from many, many different people. And again, it's not about proving whether it's true or not in court when it comes to defamation. It's just about knowing where the reputation came from and how a person can come to this understanding of this reputation reasonably. So I'm going to keep saying that, just to kind of make sure we're covered on that as I go into these stories of my research. The Umbrella Man. Okay. So as someone who's, has a media analysis background, right? I'll look at that film, and I'll be honest with you. I have not watched all of them because I do not care to watch all of them. But maybe I should have a watch along and watch them, but I don't know. I just, I feel like they already speak for themselves in a way. Like, I don't get the idea that was behind that, or why he felt like making a film of that nature was a good idea to dissuade or to point out the dangers of prostitution. I think that's a weird way to conceptualize a film. Hey guys, I want to make a film about the dangers of prostitution by turning it into a slasher flick. I think that's kind of like an afterthought. For some reason, it just strikes me that way. I don't know that to be true, but it strikes me that way as a hearing it. That but I don't understand the point of it, and I don't understand how that is any more than a pimp, being a woman on the side of the road for not having his money, or a woman hooked on drugs, and selling herself off to pay for those drugs. I think these are two other ways you could have presented that, and without the psychopath part. Now in that, I don't know that, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, the stuff. Yeah, that's that again. Here you go. You're seeing the general ideas of what these are, right? That this is a snuff film. Well, so let's look at it from a movie standpoint. I'm going to be very middle of the road here. I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm not coming to any conclusions, but I'm just trying to be a blank analyst on this. What is Friday the 13th a snuff film? Would you consider Friday the 13th a snuff film? Because to me, the idea of someone abducting someone, torturing them, and killing them, and torturing, is nothing more than what was that? Tristy, the guy with puts the lotion on its skin. That's what he was doing, right? And then he was wearing damn skin around. But so as a movie critic, we're just being movie critics right now. Chat GPT, respond as a movie critic. Okay. So we're just being a movie critic right now. We don't know anything about his past. We don't have any speculation, or we're not including reputation, right? We're just looking at it as, what is this movie about? How does it compare to others like it? And what does it mean? So would you say that, so most horror movies, I would say, could be like Scream, right? Most, they call them slasher flicks, right? So most, I think most can be considered snuff films because someone dies in them. I think the idea of a snuff film, though, is that it's real. Okay, I think that's the difference between the two. So I think that that it's well proven that the nobody died in the Umbrella Man. I get this. You try to say that there's this one girl that did it. Okay, here's what I did to try to understand this as best possible. He says that there's a lady who's in her 30s at the time that was the star of the show, and she was in all four. And the reason why she had the mask on is so he could use the same actress over and over again. He does reuse the same people, like his makeup artist, Lily Jo Young, and others, right? So there's a pattern to what he's saying. However, what I did was this: is I took the picture he provided of this woman, right? And I took the picture from the Umbrella Man and I blew them up and I put them right next to each other. And I looked for key features. Like there's certain features you can look at on a person that will distinguish them from other people that look like them, right? Ear shape is a good one. Neckline, jawline. There's just, aside from the color of the eyes, that you just, that's the first one you're going to want to copy if you're going to try to fool somebody, but you can look at other features, and then, like how, her arm, and just I looked for every little bit of any kind of indiscretion I could find. And I honestly would say that it's probably the same person. That's just my opinion. And it's just from me doing what I just said. Again, not in defense of anybody. I'm just being middle of the road here, but I'm saying that my eyes and my research did, and I looked very deeply at that. I took my time with this, is that I think it's the same person. So this person exists and she's the same age. Well, she's, alive and the same age, right? Then I think this whole idea of a snuff film is out the window, as well as it. He could call it, maybe he said, okay, so here we go. This is another thing we need to know. What does pedophilic mean and what does hemophilic mean? Pedophilic is snuff is real. That's right, Rabbit. Snuff is real. Exactly. She was an actress at the time. Yep. So pedophilic is anything that's under pubescent, right? Hemophilic is anything that's over that up to 17. So again, when you say the word when the word pedophilic comes out, it's a generalized term of the use of the word, right? But it's including a different level. Like technically it'd be hemophilic, right? Because the person in it was maybe projected to be a teenager. I don't even know that they said anything that in the movie that she was a teenager. I don't think the age was ever discussed. I think it was just that people got the impression because she looked young, and then I don't know what people that was. But I guess if most people look at it and say that person looks like they're under 18, they could make that assertion, right? That's an opinion. You're allowed to have them. You can have your opinions. So analysis of that is like, I don't think that was what was going on. There's been talks about this BDSM and background with him and so on. I know that there's some evidence to that. I didn't dig into it, so I'm not gonna comment deeply on it because again, I'm just getting into worlds that it wasn't pertinent at the time. Maybe as research continues, if necessary, that stuff comes out. I just don't care. It's like, what does it care about someone's? The only thing we could learn from that, if that was some kind of kink he had or whatever, or has, is that this could very well explain why we see the setup. That's kind of thing. But as far as the point of the movie goes, I don't understand. I guess he was trying to make a series out of it or something, but I don't understand the necessity of going back to the same thing, right? I think if I was doing that way, I would have made it more of a montage than 4 separate movies. Like there was no additional story or character development that I was aware of between all of them. Um, and it is what it is, right? It's his own style. It's his indie style filmmaking. Maybe it was something of the time period where that was stylistic or influenced by something else. But I don't, I'm not dogging him for it, but I'm also saying that I don't really understand it. And as much, but I know what he wants me to think about it. I know, I've heard his explanations on it, but I don't necessarily think that I understand it like that. See, allegedly some people have gone on a rant claiming it was real, even though it wasn't. Yeah. I don't believe age was brought up at all. It's only the ones that have made outrageous claims regarding his films. Yeah. So again, you want to see the pattern here. The pattern is that, you have this early thing with John Benet Ramsey, right? You have this Van Helton thing. I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure they were right around the same time, one way or the other. Okay. I'm a little off in the timeline right now on that. And then you have the subsequential people that start digging in and going, oh, look at this, look at that. And there was a lot of troll work done in the background to promote this. And hey, for what it's worth, I'm sure a lot of it was reaction. A lot of it was responding. Right. And this is why you don't want to go around trying to be an internet bully, because eventually it catches up with you, and eventually if you're really good at it, like Monty, you got a long list of people that are after you, or that have have a beef with you or have a reason to get even. And back in those days when this stuff really started spreading, that was a lot of what was going on, because it was heavy heat. And what people don't understand about Monograph is he doesn't just take on one person at a time. He takes on like 10, 15 people at a time. He's a busy man, and so, and this is just historic, this is historic. Back then in the heat of it, when he had a real team, his real original team there, and there were different factions of these troll wars that were going on. From what I'm seeing, what I've read during my research, is that it was a lot more heated, and there was a lot less regulation and a lot less awareness about these things. So people were just like bang, 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 bang. It was happening left and right. Before you knew it, you were getting 20 calls a day from, or your mom or something like that, from some troll or something, because you said something wrong to them, or you took the wrong side, or all that stuff. But I think I've said it before, like out of all that, as far as online internet trolls go, Monty came away the king, because he had the team, he had his system, and he did it the best, and he annoyed the hell out of people that were he was at war with. So that for that part, that's just a part in the weird internet history, right? So that's where we started with all this on this channel, is weird internet history, and here we are. It's pretty weird. Months later. Man, let's see what we got here in the chat, guys. Let me catch my thoughts as I read some of this. Let's see. Yep. Okay. 4 separate films were made. Thought it was his click. He thought it was his click. Okay. Oh, Daisy, thank you. Really enjoyed the stream. I felt bad earlier when you asked for a thumbs up. Oh, come on. You're all right, Daisy. Thank you so much for saying that. You're all right, man. No worries. Except he needs to subtract one of those right now. I hope he has. I hope for his own sake he has. It's like, I feel embarrassed for him if he didn't. So anyways, so that's how that built. And as far as the films go, right, people could have their opinions on them. I mean, that's what the film's about, man. It's like you take a risk when you make anything. Shoot, I just made something. People either love it or hate it, right? I just made the season finale, right, for LawTube is Getting Weird, and people either love it or hate it, man. Honestly, I can look at the numbers and tell you, for the people that got to see it, I mean, it's hard to get that thing pushed out. And then when you've had a whole series that wasn't pushed out past a certain point, it is what it is. So I look at it kind of the same way, in the sense that it's a niche series, man. You're either going to like it and you're going to dig it and go through it and enjoy the music and enjoy the backstory and all that, Or are you going to be like, I don't get it, and you're going to turn it off, you know? Or are you going to be like, oh, I don't like this, and turn it off? It's just, you know, that's just the way it is. But you know, it'll be part of my portfolio, you know, for this channel and whatever else I make and whatever leads me, you know, to. It's the first effort, you know, I've ever made, and I'm happy with it, and I hope people really enjoyed it and get a kick out of it. And hey, if anything big down the road breaks for me, people will go back and watch that one day. So, you know, that's what the next one's going to be about too. I hope you guys, those of you who watched the series, I hope you saw that there was an evolution going on through this whole series. Like, it started at one place and it ended at one place. All right. And then I'm not talking about just the story, because there was storytelling that evolved in there too. But the ability, my ability to make the video, like my skills grew, my use of technology grew, and that led to better quality towards the end of it. And it's going to lead into a better quality series for the next series. I'm doing The Oddest Couple, you know, where we take on the spinoff of, you know, LawTube is Getting Weird, right? We kind of drill down on the two main characters, and we get to see a nice little comedy thing go on with them. So the next one's going to be about comedy, not so much music. There will be music in it, for sure. Of course, there has to be music in it. This is all we do, music here, but it will encompass you know, more comedy and more use of technology, and to where I can maybe, hopefully one day, produce an entire unique, from start to finish, kind of like series using technology and like this, right? And you know, I do have one written. I do have 40 episodes all outlined, and that are part of a two series thing, story called well, right, the working title of it is streamed consciousness, right? So it's if you can guess, it's about, like, you know, stream life, but it's like the stories are about, you know, what we face all the time. They're kind of like in a Black Mirror kind of sense. They're kind of like separate from each other, but they have things that tie in. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that right now. It's another story. That might be a members exclusive too. And by the way, the members, you join the winner circle, man, you get treated really good. I went over that earlier, but just want to reiterate that. And if anybody has, I don't know if those come through it when I'm looking at. So, anyways, just let me know, mods, if anything like that happens and I missed it. I'll go back and say something. Okay, so let's go to the chat again, and let's see. Overlord is underrated. Oh yeah, cool. That collection of DMB records is kind of stupid. DMB, huh? All right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so, you know, to wrap it up with the Umbrella Guy, I don't think that it's a snuff film, and I don't think that it's any more. I don't think that it didn't strike me as, you know, the claims. It didn't strike me as pedophilic. It doesn't, you know, it just, and because one, that's not the definition, and that I would expect a much younger child if that was the case, and two, you know, it was more like a slasher film, you know, and you know, I think he just wanted to kind of make a horror film. You know, I think they were kind of like a little bit big at the time, and that was his way of doing it. And I think that he doesn't need to say that it's about the unless he really means it. I mean, I don't feel like it's kind of tacked on to me, but maybe not. Maybe the people at the time when he made it, he was saying the same thing. Is that, you know, it's a story about you know, the dangers of prostitution. Like, we don't know there's dangers of prostitution already, but that's fine. Whatever. I would have been okay with just that. It's a slasher flick. You know, it's a slasher flick. There's a lot of them. You know, at the time you had, I think Scream was, you know, probably pretty big at that time, and if I remember right. But, you know, if not, others came before it, you know, Halloween, Friday the 13th, and all that stuff, man, all those bloody movies. I'm actually surprised it wasn't more gore. And here's the other thing. There was no rape scene in it. I said the magic word, didn't I? In Minecraft. Does that work? Does that work? Okay. Grape. Yes. I love grapes. The grapes that were Grapes of Wrath, as it was a great book. Anyways, there was no scene like that. So where's that part? And where did people get that went on? There's a lot of imagination going on in war there. But when it's said enough times and repeated by enough people, people will just believe it on hearsay and rumors. Now, the last part of this I want to talk about is rumors and well poison. And this, again, has something to do with the case that we talked about up front. And it doesn't, and it lightly involves everybody in an outside of the case way. But well poison, I have a saying that, rumors fill the poison well, right? So rumors are a weapon right? When I say people who spread rumors have agendas. That's another thing. That's another saying I have. And so beware the rumor spreaders, beware the mutterers under their breath. These are never good tactics. These are never honorable tactics for people. And you can do your part to keep people's wealth legit by not participating in rumor spreading. And if you feel it's damaging, you feel like someone's really going after somebody behind their back, to let that person know. Give them and let the other person know you're going to tell the other person. I mean, literally, one of my solutions to dealing with consummate rumor spreaders is just to be like, ask them where they hear about it, and say, okay, well, who did you hear that from? Did you hear that from them? Because this would concern me to the point where I would actually go talk to them about it, one-to-one. And so if you really want me to know this, then you really want them to know it too. So I would be like, did you talk to them about this? Have you asked them about it? Just try to see the thing with the well poisoners and the rumor spreaders is they don't want the communication. They want to be triangulating. They don't want to be in direct communication with the person they're poisoning, right? So when you ask them and you put them back on the spot, as in you're talking about this person, have you talked to them about this, right? And if not, why? And when I do, I usually say, hey, I heard from so-and-so this, I'm concerned about it. Can we talk? And that kind of like stops it in its track. And that's one way you can actually keep a community clean and free of drama, is that if everybody adopts that position, and I hope that people in this crowd will, for anybody, it's just like, hey, look, I'll talk to them one-on-one about it. If you really feel it's important enough to tell me about it without them here. Okay. That's kind of that's the way you stop the well poisoners, because they need the same thing every abusive person needs, opportunity and like unsupervised or an anonymous way to do it, right? Or like a way to a covered way to do it, a covert way to do it, right? So in the case of like the dreamers and stuff, they they need to have the unsupervised access to children. So you line that the same way with somebody who's just trying to say, to get someone out of their way, or they don't like someone, so they're going to try to bring them down, and they're going to try to pull them down, dim their light. Those people, that's what they do. So when you see it going on in community, you'll definitely notice a pattern of ongoing situations that lightly involve that person, and that they're almost engineering to a point. And sometimes if they're very charming, it takes a long time to figure it out. But I would just say, be on your toes for that. And the way to counter that and really get them off your case and get yourself out of the rumor mill is to say, hey, if you really feel like I need to know that information, that's fine. Did you happen to speak to them already about it? Because I'm concerned now, and so I'm going to, and I just want to know, because I'll definitely say, hey, I heard it from here. That way people won't come to you with bullshit. And it'll be real. And hey, look, this is a serious situation. I wouldn't, I'm not trying to spread any rumors. Definitely go tell this person I said this. I've already talked to him about it, but you should know because it affects you in this way, or, whatever. If you feel like you got to make that stand, make sure you cover yourself too. Don't be a rumor spreader, be a truth provider or a solution architect, right? And they're both one and the same. So yeah, that's it, man. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that it really is. And I tell you what, the toxicity in a community, and that why they become toxic is because of rumor mills. I've seen it firsthand. I mean, I've watched it happen. It becomes elitist at that point. it becomes the elitist of the groups that are cultivating the poison rumor mill, and they protect it, and it becomes their little weapon. So once that's established, man, probably time to just like move the community away from around those, whoever those are doing it, and just leave them on their own, thinking that they still have something going on. But it's really hard to do. People got lives, and they got other things they want to put their minds to. It's easier just to walk away from it. So, anyways, that's my solution to poison rumor mills. Bring this to the receipts when I tell creators what's being said. Yeah, exactly, man. It's bring the receipts. And then hey, you can go talk to them about it. Hey, maybe sometimes it's legit, or it's a problem that needs to be talked about. A lot of times these things can get worked out that way too, and before they actually escalate. You say, hey, you know what? You guys need to talk. You guys need to talk. Let's put you guys together so you can talk about this. You seem very concerned about it, concerned enough to tell other people about it, So why don't you guys talk? Let's put you in a room and y'all talk, man. Let's work this out. Stop a lot of these things before they start. There's so much toxicity that goes on. There's some people out there that are harassing a friend of mine. And, every time I hear about it, I get all fired up and want to go crack some heads. And, it's not cool, man. It's vicious, and she doesn't deserve it. And those people need to stop before something needs to be done about it. That's all I can say. And, you can clip that. So anyways, guys, what's going on, chat? Thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope you appreciate it. I hope you've liked the presentation and like the intro and all that stuff that we talked about. I definitely want to talk to you and ask you any questions, answer any questions you may have. And, just trying to chill. We can talk about whatever you want. We can keep going if you want. I've pretty much got everything I had planned on saying out. I need to learn how to talk slower, but I spread this thing out a little bit more, but I didn't realize I would get through it this quickly. I've rehearsed it in my head a bunch of times, and I think there's probably other things that I could add on to this. If anybody has any more questions about the history, the lore, Saturday nights infamously, or the weekends are nice to do. Are nice to do weird internet history. Right. But we could talk about that. We can talk about where we're going next. We can talk about anything in the parody universe that you guys want to talk about. I'm wide open to whatever you guys want to chat about. So, or we just want to hang it, and we can go another half an hour and call it at 11. That'd be great too. 2-hour stream. I guess an hour and a half, 2 hour stream. We're about an hour and a half, right? People say hour and a half is probably pretty good. I guess I'm just used to being on panels with the people, and they go really long, or you get a Rekieta stream that goes for a very long time. So it's like you almost feel like you got to play that full set, that full show, like the big boys are doing. You write two sets, 2 set lists, one for the first set, one for the second, right? Maybe I should do topical when I don't have a guest on Saturday night, spin it into some kind of fun night. I don't know. KoolFrogg did his gaming night last night. I don't want to step on anybody's gaming night or anybody else's streams. I would like to kind of use the time that we're here to do something fun. I can talk about the channel. I can talk about anything. Just you guys let me know. Chat, Winner Circle members, mods. You guys are driving. I'm going to sit here and for a second and just check what you guys have to say. Just tap chat, live chat. All right. What's Rumble? What's Rumble's doing? Oh, black heart. Right on, Rumble. All right. That's what I saw when I went over there. Okay. Don't tell me what someone else said unless you tell me what you said back. Oh, that's a good one, Daisy. Hold on, let me get over here to this window. That's a really good one. talking about rumor mills and all that stuff. I always reply with, "Don't tell me what someone else said unless you tell me what you said back." That's true. You know, man, I can't tell you how many times I've had somebody come up to me, with their eyes all bugged out, looking side to side, saying, "Yo, I heard this," and then they won't tell me who they heard it from. Like, I mean, I'm just like, that's when I got really sick of it. That's when I got sick of it. I was like, okay, so you're supposed to be my friend, right? But who are you protecting that you are better friends with than me? Who do you think you're protecting from me by not telling me who has said this about me? I mean, what kind of where do you think that? Why do you think that this is good? Why do you think that's cool? I don't get it. Like, where did you miss that part in our friendship where that's not cool? I mean, dude, I hear something about you. I come tell you exactly where I heard it from and who did it and whatnot. You know, and hell, in the music business and local and regional and national, there's always shit talkers. Hell, just a group of friends, they're shit talkers. Maybe doesn't know how big it is. Certainly, in a community of people behind keyboards, there's going to be, keyboards and webcams. There's going to be. So, what do you do? What do you do with that, right? What do you do with that? You gotta, but I like that. That's a good one. Demon Vessel. I agree with you on that one. Right? I know. If anybody has made a donation to coffee, to buy me coffee or any other payment thing I have set up, thank you so much. I don't have a way to see it. Like, I don't look at it. Like, it doesn't pop up on my screen, so I'd have to go find it. But anybody who does, I will get shout outs to next stream. I'll do it that way for now, just so I don't get off track, and I'll try to work that out as time goes on, and it becomes more of a thing, right? More of a thing. So yeah, but I really appreciate anybody who's supporting the channel, and I try to. I will definitely make you feel appreciated, and no matter what size the channel is. That's another thing too. I've been there with other channels, and I've seen what other people, what other channels kind of like how people kind of get shuffled to the side once they get to a certain place, right? Becomes a machine, become a number. I really don't want to get there. And while it'd be nice to get there numbers wise, I never want to get there personally. I know the bubble. I've seen it happen, and it'll be solution time if that ever comes around. We'll say that. But no, I mean, that's why one thing I like about Nick Rekieta is that he reads every single super chat. Even if you start throwing them in there at the last minute, like the dude, like a couple that walks in 1 minute before closing and orders off the, orders off the menu. Yeah, that's fine, man. Hey, they're customers, man. They're people that they thought enough of it to want to say something and spend their money on it, man. Dad, goddamn appreciate it. So right, I was thinking I don't know if it jumps out at me in the news that hasn't already been talked about or covered to the point. Let's stay in this world right here we're in, and we'll see how that goes. Demons jump on you. What's that? God, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound too good, does it? Yeah. So on Monday, maybe we should do a special stream on Monday because as the get news about the court. So maybe look for me to go jump in and go live on Monday at some point just to cover the outcome, especially if it gets dismissed or pushed forward. If it's one of those things where we got to wait to hear it from Nick on his nightly stream, then it'll probably be Wednesday. So because Tuesday we're doing Tech Reality Tuesdays. Hopefully you've got a chance to check that out. We're gonna do some really cool stuff with that. I'm excited about that show. It's off the beaten track. It'll probably totally screw me and YouTube's algorithm. I don't know what to do about that because I think it's topical especially to my crowd. And we got some cool ideas, man. Cool things are coming together, and we're gonna take you from the ground up. And so hopefully, even if you're not an expert, technical expert on anything, we can help you kind of at least get oriented into the new world, right? But again, Tech Reality Tuesdays, come check us out. Then me and Space Power Monkey will be back every Tuesday, and this week at a new time, 9 p.m. So the times for the shows are now, was it 8 o'clock on member stream on Mondays. I can move that if we need to, maybe to 9 or something. I think there's a reason I did it at 8. It might be 9. Let's just say 9, because 9's across the board, right? 9 o'clock on Tuesdays, 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. Thursdays, usually we're doing TR Trucking. TR Trucking's been great, by the way. If you'd like to go for a ride in an 18-wheeler truck, that's what that's all about. So I tell a lot of road stories. I tell a lot of stories from being a road musician and from touring the country and working with bands. And he talks about trucking and fills us in with all kinds of great details about trucking, things you wouldn't know unless you talk to a trucker. So we get to see the country. We talk about the cities he drives through, the monuments. We look at pictures. We play and sing state songs as we cross borders. And you could even get TR to shout, "Keep on trucking" out the window, or blink the lights, or do something like that. We have a whole or sing a little song on the CB. We have a whole menu you can choose from. That's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It makes me feel like I'm back out on the road having a good old time. And it's been a blast. So those come up, and those are situational. But we'll try to do one more steady if we can. It's just like trucker schedules. So I just say, hey, look for them. We'll probably schedule one on a Thursdays just to have one scheduled. But they can move at any time, right? You can move at any time, and we go late. It could be overnight, it can be early, it can be whatever. So that's a stay on your toes kind of stream right there. But once we get in there, we have a good time. We get people to ride along with us. We had Thermo from Australia ride with us last time, as well as Vicky T came in and did some riding with us. I think I got everybody. I can't remember though. I hope I got everybody. If you were there as well, let me know. But yeah, you can come in. You can get in the truck too. So that's a lot of fun. It's Americana at its best, man. Americana at its best. Yeah, they are a lot of fun, Suzanne. Definitely, we have a blast, and they're only gonna get better. And of course, we're helping build up TR's channel. So make sure you go to T-Rex Trucking and subscribe to him as well, so we can get his channel built up. He's got a lot of great ideas for what he's gonna do. He's gonna do like truck stop reviews. He's gonna do different kinds of videos where he can help educate and enlighten people about the world of trucking and his life and what he does, life on the road. He's an excellent person with a lot going for him, and he's got a great plan in life, and he's ahead of the game. So you're really going to enjoy riding with T-Rex Trucking. I guarantee that. He's an expert in that. Oh man, I was thinking of something that I heard the other night. Actually, I'm working on the intro, but I so want to play it, but it's not done yet. But it's so good. I'll probably have a couple of different intros, maybe an outro too. So I got to cover all the trucking stuff I can on that. But the first one, the intro part, is the framework's there, and aside from a few tweaks here and there. I don't know. You want to test market it? Let's test market it. Let's see. T3, if you're still there. If you're not, don't worry. I'll send it to you. But if you're still there, this is what I was going to send you. Let me get it queued up. You guys are in for a treat now. We're going to do it. And this will be a good test, too, to see if it, I'm sure I got hit with the copyright for the intro. In fact, I know I did. Because when I loaded it up, it was already hitting me. But guess what? We discovered last week on Tech Reality Tuesday is that if the AI's done it, they can't copyright it. So I'm going to start adding some new verbiage to my counterclaims, or my counterclaims, my disputes. That is going to bring in those new laws, those new copyright laws for AI. I'm going to be quoting those in my disputes and my appeals to disputes, and hopefully that'll make some difference. Breaker 19 convoy. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me get this queued up, and we will take a look at it. You guys can tell me what you think. It's gonna be good. Oh man, where's that? Did I upload it yet? Yes, I know I did. Hold on, let's refresh. Upload it real quick. So this won't take long. It's not that long. So anyways, let's just talk here. As I do this, you can see how quickly I can get this done. It won't take long at all. This one. That's it. I really thought I had already done this. Rex trucking. Private. Okay, good. Long. Got here. Happy Easter. Is it Easter? Happy Easter. Gotta run. If you hang on 1 second, I got you. But if you gotta run, we'll catch up with you. I'll throw this in members only eventually, Susanna. Definitely. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Okay, here we go. You guys hang on now. We're gonna get this special sneak peek at the upcoming intro for T-Rex truck for 18 million across America is what we're calling it. And unfortunately, because of the footage we chose, or I chose to do this, the way I chose to do this, it's gonna be classic looking. Let me put it that way. Right at this point, it's gonna be classic looking. That means it's gonna be kind of like 240-ish. If you follow me, all right. But hey, you know what? You'll still get the gist of it. I promise you that. We're almost there. Ready? Ready? Oh, down to 4. Come on, you guys want to see this? You guys want to see this? Here we go. Ready? Set. Go.
Hey there, where you going? Not exactly knowing. Who says you have to call just one place? Oh, he's going everywhere. DJ McKay and his best friend there. He just keeps on moving, ladies keep improving. Every day is better than the
New dreams and better scenes. Best of all, I don't pay property tax. Rolling down to Dallas, my wheels provide my palace. Off to New Orleans or who knows where. Places new and ladies too. I'm BJ McKay and this is my best friend there.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh man. Hope you enjoyed that one. What do you guys think? Let me know. What do you think? What did you guys think? Let me see. Let me see. Thumbs up if you liked it. Yeah. I think we told the whole story. ID crisis. If I hey, ID crisis, if I left anything out, you let me know. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, you're talking about with rumors. Yeah. No. Okay. I got you. I got you. I had to catch myself back up. I was like, oh, Rumble. Hey guys. Did you guys like it? Cool. I thought it was awesome. Okay, so now we have to save up and get T Rex a monkey to travel with him. Oh man, I was like, okay, either we get you a monkey named Bear or a bear named Monkey. How about that? But you know, there's a lot of truckers stuff going on. We actually talked about having a watch along party for trucker movies. So we may have a watch along party in the Discord with T Rex Trucking to watch all of the greatest trucker movies ever. So that would include Smokey and the Bandit, Convoy, Maximum Overdrive. You know, it's whatever we can think of. We'll make a time and play it. But those will probably be the first three we'll watch. So if you want to be part of that, become a member of the Winner Circle and join the Discord, and we will see you there. All right, man. I've had a blast tonight. This has been a great stream, I think, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Let me stop that. Okay, and I will be back. Well, tomorrow night we're going to be in that very Discord I was talking about, watching Black Mirror. We've been making our way through the seasons, then we're back into for like one more episode, and then we're going to finish out 3 with if I could find the Banger Dash, if I could find that episode in a watchable format, we'll do that one. If not, that'll be like maybe one of the last ones we do. But then we'll just move on to season 4, and we'll be watching those. We usually watch 2 or 3 at a time. They're about an hour a piece, so we spend about 2 to 3 hours in there watching it, and then we move on. And then of course next week, nothing on the books yet, except for the already scheduled shows we went through. Look for a win this week coming out either Sunday or Monday. Usually I want to put out Sunday in short form and then Monday in regular form. I think that's how I'm going to do it. And hopefully by Monday or Tuesday in regular form. And I'll have hopefully have everything. If I don't have the guests lined up, I'll have them by then. I want to try to have guests on Saturday and Wednesdays if I can, or I'll do topical ones like this. But I really do want to do guests and do interviews. I enjoy doing the interviews. I really enjoyed having Radix here. I enjoyed having Mark Babbitts. I enjoyed having Jeff Blocken. Jeff Blocken. And I want to have more. I want to have more guests and people that you haven't heard of, and some people you have, and some people that you request. Right? Let's get it all. He's getting a cat. Okay. Well, can we call the cat Bear? All right. We have to call the cat Bear. He needs at least one cat named Bear. How about that? Yeah, let's just talk about right here. And so I do have a little announcement. I'll make it now. But I'll put our reminder later on in video form. But I do have penciled in, and I've talked to him twice about this, and I think this is a go for after the NFL draft is done in May. My boy, Philly 500, who's got this huge channel that does Philadelphia Eagles watch-alongs and so on, is going to come over and do an interview with me. And I want to have him over. Yes, we will talk football for sure, but really because it's just another side of YouTube, another style of creation that's out there. And I want to talk to him about what it's like doing what he does on YouTube. And he's also into conspiracies. So we're probably going to have some debate about that. I've been telling him for years, I'm going to get him straight on a few things. So hopefully that'll go well. But he's a great guy. He's a super great personality, easygoing, funny. If you haven't checked out Philly 500, and you don't like the Eagles, I get it, right? If you like the Eagles, Philly 500, your guy, you want to be there. But otherwise, just as a person and a human being, he's very interesting, and it's a lot of fun and super hilarious. So, penciled in for May. That's the big announcement. He's got like I think he's in the, let's see, what is his sub count for the clout register here? But it's like, not that it matters, but he has really big live streams. Like his streams go into the thousands, right? And he's also part of the Philly Shakedown podcast, which also does the same. So he's almost at 50,000 subscribers. He's right about there. So he's been kicking it for years and doing a great job. And I can't wait to actually get to talk to him in person and interview him, and get to know him better on a one-to-one level. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And I made this really cool video for him for the that my members got to see. It's in there for members right now. You got the advanced knowledge of this, and you got the advanced trailer for it. So that's, again, another perk of being in the winner's circle. All right. So, hey, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. If there's not anything else, any more questions, I'm going to let you guys go for the evening. We're right at about hour 45. Looks like it's a pretty good time to do just that. Hey, man, have a great night. Check out all the channels. I'm on Rumble. Of course, I'm on YouTube, Locals, and you get Discord with the membership. And the membership's right there below. Join the Winner's Circle. We'll have all the great content, insider information you could possibly want. And I look for a win this week to come out Sunday or Monday. And until then, until next time, hey, keep on winning. Let's go.
The success me. The team was blown, completed deep. Like ball heads and grandma's faces. Accelerated, economic races. I should have paid it, don't say a word. And now I'm that poison. This is a waste of money.